Thank you, Your Honor. Reporting today on State versus Shannon Hinton, file 24 CR 961. We're here today for sentencing. The State of Ohio is prepared to go forward. Thank you.
Siebert.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. We are prepared to proceed with the sentencing in this matter.
Right off the bat, we've got a guilty plea on 5 felony counts. That's huge. A guilty plea means no trial drama, but it also means the defendant is banking on some mercy from the judge. Do you think pleading guilty was a smart move here, or was he just cornered?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Hinton pled guilty to 5 different counts of this indictment, some high-level felonies, with the understanding that he is going to be serving a prison sentence. Your Honor, he has admitted his wrongdoing by entering that plea. He in fact knows that what he did was wrong. He is prepared to tell you about his thoughts on the matter and to express that he is remorseful for his conduct.
Here comes the apology. But let's be real, judges have heard thousands of these. The real question is, does this sound sincere to you, or just another rehearsed courtroom speech?
And that he needs to make a change.
I would like to apologize to the person that I caused harm to. I also would like to apologize to the prosecuting team for their work, the detectives in the Lake County Jail. I know the decisions that I made were selfish and I'd agreed, but I've come to my senses, and I want to do better, want to change. I also want to change for my family, because the path that I've chosen early in my life have done nothing but led me down the dark, dead-end road that I truly regret. And it's taken me 35 years of my life to understand this is not the life that I want. I thought money would fix my life, when really the true value is my family and my freedom. I've now chosen to push restart and become someone else, someone who's there for my family and someone who helps his community. I ask this court for forgiveness. I won't think about any more drugs ever. I also know that I have to accept my consequences. So whatever they are today, I accept them. So please have mercy for me, for the sake of my family, and for me to have another chance and finally prove who the man I know I could be in this world. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we would ask...
Whoa, pause right there. The prosecutor is recommending 8 years, concurrent with his current sentence. That's a huge break, considering the charges. But remember, a recommendation is just that. The judge doesn't have to go along with it.
With that you accept the joint recommendation of the parties and impose an 8-year prison term to be run concurrent to the prison term that Mr. Hinton is already serving. I would also point out that he does have the support of his family. His mom's here today. He knows he's let her down. And again, we would just ask that you impose the jointly recommended sentence of 8 years. Thank you, Your Honor.
This stuff's been going on for 15 years. So what you read rings completely hollow to me. Because if you meant any of that, you wouldn't have been doing this over here in March of 23. Because in November of 9, you went to prison on an F4, trafficking. Did about 7 months. Got out in March of 10. That same month, you pled guilty to trafficking. You were put on probation, so right after you got out of prison. And then after violation of probation, you went to prison for about 15 months, or no, only about 3 months. For trafficking. April of 13, F4 drug possession and weapons. Went to prison for about 9 months. Get out in July of 14. March of 15, in West Virginia, apparently, you get a aiding and abetting, a distribution of heroin. Go to prison, federal prison, August 31 of 15, released March 26 of 21. March 26 of 21. July 1st of 21.
And here's the problem. The judge starts running through Hinton's rap sheet hand. It's like a broken record. Prison, probation, back to prison. Repeat. 15 years of the same cycle. At this point, would you believe his promise to change?
3 months later, you're here with possession of fentanyl, which was an F3. Proceeds subject to forfeiture, trafficking in fentanyl F5, trafficking in fentanyl F3, trafficking in fentanyl F4. And apparently I'm told, I don't remember this, but apparently I'm told there was a joint recommendation of 2 years and I gave you 3 years. You're doing that sentence now. I'm not sure what you were doing over here in March of 23. I don't know. You're hard to keep track of because you keep doing the same thing for 15 years. And now you tell me that you realize you were wrong and it's impacting your family. And now your mother's got to be here because your overriding concern, the way you've conducted yourself for 15 years, is to try to make money selling dope, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Correct, Your Honor.
And you got some fairly light penalties in the past, 3 times of anywhere from 3 months up to about 7 months before you got popped for about 6 years in federal prison. And then 3 months later, you're at it again with the same stuff. And then less than 2 years later, you're at it over here. When did you discover that there was a way to get dope in that jail? In that cell from the 4th floor?
It was a hole in the window that was been in the window for quite some time.
Okay. How did you know that?
Because it was going around the jail.
And somehow you wormed your way into that cell? How'd you do that?
I mean, and different inmates run out of different cells.
I know, but you ended up moving to that cell, right, with Ruskin? Did you move in there with Ruskin?
No, it was never my cell.
Where was your cell?
I was in cell, I believe, 2 doors down.
Who was in that cell where the hole was in the building?
Another kid, I believe his name was Josh Brown.
Josh Brown, the one who dropped over?
Correct.
So, when you got this stuff in the jail, who'd you sell it to?
Where it gets wild, we're not just talking street-level crime anymore. We're talking drugs being smuggled into jail through a hole in the window. Seriously, this sounds more like a Netflix prison documentary than a sentencing hearing.
We was pretty much using.
Okay. Well, who paid for it?
Who paid for, nobody didn't pay for no drugs.
Okay. Somehow, what's her name, Lil Ma?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Got drugs somewhere, gave Archie a ride out here, right? Who gave Archie a ride out here?
I don't know that person.
You don't know that. Well, who were you trying to arrange? It was Walt, right? Did he do it?
No.
Who did it? You were on the phone with trying to get multiple people, somebody who had a car, to get that stuff out here. Who got it out here?
I don't know that. I don't know his name.
Okay. Well, who arranged it?
I arranged it, Your Honor.
Okay. So you just call up somebody with no name and have them come out here and
I
meet?
arranged it with my girlfriend.
Okay. And so where did the drugs come from?
The drugs came from somebody that she found.
So who paid for those?
She did.
So who was gonna make this pot of gold, pot of gold, pot of gold?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we both would have benefited from the
You're pretty sure? I mean, this is your business, right, for the last 15 years, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you're pretty sure?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, are you kind of trying to slight things with me here?
No, sir.
Okay. So the idea was to get her paid for what she was putting out, right? For the drugs. And then to make some money off the drugs you were bringing in with the inmates, right?
Correct.
Okay. This ain't rocket science here. Okay? So once these drugs came in, what did you do with them?
Was using them.
Okay, who? Besides Brown, who dropped over,
All of us who was involved on the indictment.
which is who?
Ruskin. I believe his name was Dustin. Joshua. Myself. Yeah, it was just us.
Okay, and then how much did they pay you?
I was never paid
Why not?
because there nobody have any money.
Okay, well, you were talking to your girlfriend about how, and Archie, how this was a pot of gold up there. And what I took from that conversation was you were going to get this stuff in here, be able to sell it, and make a lot of money to all these people who were drug addicts, right? Wasn't that the idea?
Not over here at the jail. I was planning on taking the drugs with me, Your Honor.
Taking them where?
Back to the institution I was housed at.
Okay. But you didn't do that. You just spread it out among your buddies over there, out of the goodness of your heart, or what?
I mean, at the time being, we had addictions. We wanted to get high.
Well, before you found the hole in the wall to get it in, how were you getting drugs? You had an addiction, so you had an active addiction. When's the last time you used? Before March of 23.
Before March of 23.
Right.
I was using probably a few days before that, I want to say.
Okay. All right. So the pot of gold was you were going to get it in and take it with you back to prison.
Correct.
But instead of that, you just spread it out among the faithful over there.
I mean, that wasn't the initial plan. But once the drugs came into my possession, it was urges to use, and it was just boredom.
What was the talk about the Cash App?
Cash apps was normally used for trading.
Trading what?
Trading food items and commissary. child hall trades normally,
With who? Other inmates, right?
correct?
So somehow the Cash App was going to be used to pay for the dope, right?
I mean, eventually, once I left the prison, I'm pretty sure I would have used probably my books.
Your what?
And there it is, the judge calling out the "I want to change" speech as nonsense. After 15 years of dealing drugs, empty promises aren't cutting it anymore. What do you think? Should the judge give him one more chance? Or is it time to lock in the full sentence?
I would have got money added towards my my commissary account.
Well, I don't believe that.